In the last 10 years, I've helped over 100 companies hire more than 500 people, and I sat in more than 1,000 job interviews with rock stars just trying to escape their current job and their current boss. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 6 biggest mistakes companies make why people want to leave them, and what you can do to actually prevent people from leaving you. Because let's be honest, finding top talent is great, but you know what's even greater? It's not having to replace that top talent by keeping them. So, with that being said, let's dive into the first one. A lot of founders make the mistake of thinking people leave for money when in reality they leave because they don't feel valued. You know, oftentimes people want to matter more than they want to get paid. Let's compare it to relationships for a second. Let's say you're in this relationship with a gorgeous, funny, witty, charismatic person, but they never say they like you, that they appreciate you, or that they're grateful for being in their life. How would it make you feel? Probably not good, and you wouldn't probably stay with them for a very long time. And the same goes on with your employees. If they feel you like them or you need them as much as a tissue during summer, they will leave because people want recognition, they want to know they matter. And if all you do is the occasional pat on the back or the negative compliment saying, hey, you didn't screw up this time, people will just leave. So if you want to keep people without showering them with compliments all day, there's a simple trick. Normally, most companies have a meeting once in a while, usually every week or every month. What you do is take out a portion of that meeting to give kudos to people and just tell them what they did right and why you appreciate them. Now, don't go make up any stories, but if somebody prevented a key client from leaving, just tell it in a meeting like, hey guys, quick shout out to John because he prevented client X from leaving. Thank you very much, John. That mattered. And John will be very happy. And that's it. 2 sentences is plenty. What you don't want to do during those meetings is then go over what people didn't do right. So let's say Susie messed up. You don't want to say, by the way, Susie, you really messed up. What you want to do is you want to take Susie aside before or after that meeting or when the thing occurred and just tell her what happened and give her an opportunity to fix it. That way you can still give her a compliment down the line, not for what she did, but for how she fixed it. So the rule of thumb here is praise in public and coach in private. You know, recognition keeps people from an emotional standpoint, but if you don't pay them fairly, they will also leave. So let's talk about that. Because mistake number 2 is paying everyone the same. Because if you pay everyone the same, your best people are already planning their exit. I think giving everybody the same salary, and especially a fixed salary, is one of the worst things you can actually do when you've got really good people on your team. Let's say you and I both work in retail and you fold 10 boxes of clothes per day and I fold 5. You're doing twice the work I am doing, but for the same pay. How do you think that would make you feel? Because what happens in 99.9% of the companies is that those top performers are going to start resenting the company or their colleagues, and that resentment turns into frustration turns into unhappy employees, and they turn into happy employees at other companies. And again, that's why people leave, because you pay someone else to do half their job the exact same amount. So let me tell you how I structure pay for every role in my company. Everybody has a fair base salary, and that base salary allows them to live, cover their bills, basic expenses, and save some money so that everybody can come work with peace of mind. And then I give them some extras for their lifestyle. So in my case, it's home working and flexible hours. That way they have a good basic salary and they have a decent work-life balance. But then I also give everybody KPIs, and those KPIs can be related to revenue, cost saving, the complexity of their work, and a lot of other things. But those KPIs get tied to a bonus. So that means the better they work, the more KPIs they hit, the more they earn. And that way my top performers get paid more in commissions, in bonuses, than my other employees who perform less. And I do this with my recruiters, I do this with my admin, with marketing, I do it all over the place because you can find KPIs for every role. Because at the end of the day, People who get paid more deliver better results, especially if that better pay is depending on the quality of their work. And that's why you want to give people bonuses for a job well done, because that way you incentivize them to do a better job. You know, pay and recognition matter a lot, but there's this other thing that can destroy trust in just one day. And it's when your job offer doesn't match the reality. And that's mistake number 3. If people keep quitting in the first 90 days, you don't have a hiring problem, you have another problem, and it's that your job offer doesn't match reality. Earlier this week, one of my recruiters came to me and she told me about this client of ours who just hired a technician. And that technician, during the interview process, said he needed a company car so that he could get his kids to school. Okay, fine. The client said yes. And then when he started, on his first day, you know what he got? He got a van, not a car. And because of that, he couldn't drive his kids to school. And he confronted our client and he said, yes, I know cars will be there in 3 to 6 months. We don't know exactly. But during the job interview, they told him he could get a car. And because of that, he accepted. Now, because he couldn't drive his kids to school, he just quit right then and there on day 1. So the thing my client did is that they sold one job, but they delivered another. And then, the guy didn't want to do it. So always frame the job and what they have to do really clearly. Be brutally honest about what the job actually looks like day to day, about what the package includes, about what the responsibilities are, and the true package, the salary, the car, the meal vouchers, the whatever you give. And if you can, not only now, but in the future. That way people know what they will get paid today, but they also know if there is some growth potential or margin if they do a good job down the road. Because there's a big hidden cost about people who quit early, and it's that you have to pay twice. Because you fill the role once, and then that person quits, and then you have to start all over again when you think you found someone, and then you have to hire again, and that's the second time you're hiring for the same position. And if they quit after a few weeks or months, you've probably already invested in training that person. Maybe they made a mess, maybe they didn't, but anyway, you have to clean up. So make sure that your offer matches reality and they will join and stay at your company. But the next step is how you handle mistakes. And that's point number 4 for today. The mistakes my employees made are a big reason of why I work less and I earn more today. Really, I've made millions on the back of my employees' mistakes. Let me tell you how. Most founders and most managers go out of their way to prevent every single mistake from happening. And that's why you end up burned out, you're stressed, you're always thinking about work, even when you're not at work. For me, I remember my wife talking to me all the time and I was looking at her like I'm looking to you now. And I just didn't hear what she was saying. I would answer on autopilot and then she would say something else and expect a reply and I would just blank. And if you are living something similar, you know that you have to let go a little. And this is how you do it. When somebody makes a mistake at work, don't jump in. Don't try to be the hero and fix everything and be like, yeah, but if I do it, it's better if I do it myself. That way I know it's done the right way. That's bullshit. It might work in the very short term, but people don't learn anything when you do that. So instead of treating your employees like children who messed up, just treat them like the owners they can be and give them their mistake back. What you want to do is you let them diagnose what went wrong and then you ask them to make a plan on how to fix it. While they're fixing it, they are documenting every step of the way, because if they fixed it the right way, they will have created a free training for you about how to fix that mistake, or better yet, on how to prevent that mistake from happening. And if they did a really good job, you let them teach other employees, other colleagues, on how they did it so that it doesn't spread into a company-wide mistake. And the biggest benefit is that you gave people ownership, but at the same time you turn them into trainers, which gives them also a form of recognition. They feel better, and most important of all, they develop more skills. And employees with more skills become more valuable. And more valuable employees not only make you more money, but they also take work off your plate. And that's what I mean when I said that I earn more and I work less the more mistakes my team makes. So the skills go up, the confidence goes up, and your workload goes down. That's a good deal. But there's a limit. There's a limit between making mistakes and poisoning the team, and keeping bad apples for too long is mistake number 5. I had this one nice employee who cost me $500,000 and 4 years of work in just 3 months. So I had this great guy on my team, polite, well-mannered, funny guy, doing okay at his job, but really nice guy to have on the team. And what happened is that at some point, there were tensions in the team. So I asked him like, hey, you're talking to everybody, what's going on? And he pointed me to a colleague who was spreading lies and gossiping. And it really bugged me because it was my second best performer. But after confronting her and everything, I decided to fire her because it would be better for the team. But unfortunately, it didn't stop there because the gossip was going on, more and more drama added, and I couldn't pinpoint what was going on. And I was stressed and moody sometimes. Then one day, my top performer left because she told me, yeah, look, the company isn't the same lately. I don't like it here anymore. I'm leaving. And suddenly, I did not only lose my second best employee, I also lost my top performer. Long story short, after another employee quitting and another one getting fired, I finally noticed what happened. It was Mr. Nice Guy all along that was poisoning the well. And instead of getting rid of him, I got rid of a big portion of the team, and it cost me $500,000 in yearly earnings. And it was really, really brutal for me. So let me tell you what I did wrong. And the first thing is that I isolated myself too soon. I was in my office and they were on the floor. So I didn't experience firsthand what was going on. So I had to rely and trust other people to know what was going on in my own company. But hey, look, I was a founder, I was a CEO, I was supposed to have my own office now, didn't I? But that's the trap. As long as you're a young founder, and by young I mean not super experienced, stay with your people as much as possible, because not only it will allow you to control company culture, but it will also give you a lot of training and coaching opportunities. The second mistake I made is that I trusted the person I liked the most instead of confronting the whole team and asking them as a group what was going on. Because I let him lie to me, but he couldn't have lied in the whole group with everybody present. So when you're experiencing drama or gossiping or lying in your company, have a meeting and talk about it like the bunch of adults you are. And the third one is that I led with emotions instead of leading with standards and leading with authority. I followed my gut feeling and my emotions, and because of that, I wasn't reasoning clearly, and I wasn't looking at who's bringing in what and who's contributing to what in the company. And that's also one of the reasons I fired my second best employee when she clearly didn't deserve it. And believe me, one bad apple can cost you a lot more money than you think. One bad employee can cost you more money than good employees will ever make you. And even if you get all of those things right, there is still one thing that can destroy your company from the inside, and that's number 6. And it's blaming talent instead of training. Unpopular opinion. The skill level of your team is a direct reflection of the training you provided them with. People can only perform to the level of training you gave them. So if you ever look at your team and you're thinking like, man, who are these clowns? Well, they're your clowns, and if they are acting like clowns, it's probably because you've trained them that way. I hear all these founders say like, yeah, nobody wants to work anymore, good people are hard to find, nobody does their job well. When in reality, if you look at the business, you will find the mistakes. And to relate to a personal story of mine, I was once one of those founders. But the thing is that people weren't doing their jobs, but I didn't give them clearly documented steps and SOPs and systems to follow. I just briefed and went on with my day, and then I was surprised that the result wasn't what I expected. But I failed to communicate what the desired outcomes were specifically. And because I failed to do so, people couldn't do their best work. So here's how I solved it. First, I documented everything for every role so that everybody knows exactly what to do. It's written down, there's no room for interpretation, and everybody has a clear path from day one until day I don't care how much. Then when I hire something new, the second thing I do is that I do the job with them, but I start by doing the job. That way I can show them how it's done properly. And after I've shown them, I let them do it and I coach them and I train them and I give them feedback until they do the job well enough. And by the time I'm ready to let go of them, it means that they're doing the job well enough to do it without me. Letting go of people too early is one of the biggest mistakes founders make because they think that they have other work going on or if you've got more important tasks to do. But nothing is more important than onboarding and training people. Nothing. Because when you train people well, they feel more confident, they make less mistakes, they ask less of your time down the road. So nailing training is pulling on another earn more, work less lever. So those are the 6. Let's wrap it up. We had not giving a recognition, paying everyone the same, having a job offer that doesn't match reality, trying to be the hero all the time, keeping bad apples, and 6, blaming talent instead of your own training. By the way, if you're a 6 or 7 figure founder and you want to earn more, work less, and get some time back without cutting profit, download my 20-hour founder framework through the link in the description. It shows you how to do exactly that. Finding top talent is great, but the real superpower is keeping those people because that's how you build a business that doesn't burn you out as a founder. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.